Hey everyone, welcome to my Weebly website. Here we will take a look at my integrated technology project for EDU 620. I am a 4th grade math teacher who teaches students with disabilities in a resource setting. Therefore, many of my students are below grade level readers. And this project requires many words to read on my website. Therefore, I added the Google add-on SpeakIt to their computers in order for the students to listen and understand the steps required to complete this project. For example, I'll show you how that works. The students will highlight a set of words or even this entire paragraph. Once they highlight it, they will come up here to this icon, click it,
Equivalent fractions.
and as you can see, it reads it to them clearly. As we scroll down, here's this week's focus standard, and I also included their I can statement. I can create equivalent fractions using various methods. I also embedded the link to my lesson plan. My math block is 90 minutes per day. Therefore, it allows us to have opportunities to explore through many sites and links. Here's a detailed description of my lesson plan for the next 3 days. And then here you can see that I've added a checklist for my students to complete as they work through the technology project. This will help them stay on task and have clear expectations of how to complete the project. I've also included the exit slip that we will review for the PowerPoint that is included on day 2. This PowerPoint is interactive, which has the students, as you can see, complete several problems and find the equivalent fraction. On my Weebly website, there is a Symbaloo web mix that has all the links that we will use for the next 3 days. Green represents day 1, red is day 2, and purple is day 3. I also included the links that I will use as teacher. So day 1. Day 1 will solely focus on creating equivalent fractions. Each day the students have a learning objective that they are required to meet. If they do not meet it, then there is a remediation plan set in place. So before the students explore the following links on their own, they will review a Pear Deck presentation with me. Their link is here in the green tab, and the link from me is here in the orange. So students, when the student link pops up, they will first answer these questions. They will be guided through the presentation with me. There are a total of 7 slides on how to make equivalent fractions. But to start off, I would just like to know their basic knowledge of fractions from what we reviewed last week. We will also look at a News ELA article on why and how important fractions are to our everyday life. And then we will review that News ELA article together. Then, of course, the students love vocabulary, so I added one to this presentation. As they watch the video, they will be required to remember some tips or tools that were discussed in the video. They may use their notebooks in order to jot down those answers. And, of course, at the end, just 2 things that they have learned from the entire presentation. That can include the vocabulary video, the News ELA article, or anything we have discussed so far. Furthering down, now after the Pear Deck presentation, they will watch an instructional video made by me. It will direct them towards YouTube. After they listen to the instructional video, then they will go to Quizlet. They may access the flashcards, match, or the gravity game. I think the gravity game may be one of my favorites because it is more like a video game atmosphere. Next and lastly, for day 1, the students will conduct a formative exit slip. They will have to use the code that I listed right here, HWRDLA, and there are only 5 questions. These 5 questions will have students make equivalent fractions based off the given fraction. Day 2, solving for equivalent fractions. Again, another learning objective. First, the students will watch this YouTube and learn more about equivalent fractions and how they relate to the real world. Next, they will watch a second YouTube video in which I recorded, and it explains how to create an equivalent fraction pair. Through these 2 videos, I will encourage the students to write down their thoughts or new ideas that they have learned. They may use a thinking map or just note-taking. After they watch those videos, they may review their notes or remember what they have learned and share at least 2 things they have learned in this Flipgrid. So they would tap to record and share 2 things they have learned. After the quick Flipgrid, they will then access this PowerPoint presentation. They will need the half sheet that I showed you in my lesson plan in order to record their answers. There are 5 PowerPoint slides at the end that prompt answers and questions. In that PowerPoint presentation, I also added audio so the students can understand the expectations of each slide. And lastly, before leaving class, they will have an exit slip and play the Kahoot game. The pin is located right here. Day 3, last day for equivalent fractions, and they will solve for equivalent fractions. Again, more practice. So they will start off again by watching this YouTube video. It does present a word problem in a real-world situation in order for my students to better understand how important equivalent fractions are to everyday life. After watching the YouTube video, they will have the opportunity to choose 4 sites from below, and they will work with a partner. While exploring these sites, they are required to play these games listed below: Learning Farm, ABC app, IXL.com, or Mr. Nussbaum's website, for at least 8 to 10 minutes. When they are finished with each game, they have to record their highest score and what game they played. After working with their partners and before leaving class, they will individually complete a Quizlet for a grade to demonstrate their understanding of equivalent fractions. My remediation plan for all 3 days is for students that do not achieve at least 75% accuracy on exit slips. We'll then review the instructional videos again. After viewing the videos for the second time, the students will complete an additional exit slip in order for the teacher to collect and compare the data. After testing, if the student continues to struggle, then the student will be provided one-on-one instruction with either myself or the paraprofessional in the classroom.